we decided that we would do this, and we would come up with a ride and raise funds that would benefit the children of fallen police officers, firefighters, and EMS. Then we expanded it, and we joined forces with an organization called the Mikey Network. And they put out public access defibrillators into high-risk areas such as sports complexes, schools, senior homes. 2 years ago, we joined forces with an organization called CanX. And CanX is part of the military, and what they do is they help with the rehabilitation of injured soldiers and getting them back into society and getting them back on duty, and taking it one step further than the government will do that.
Well, I was approached to be on the 911 ride, and we thought it was going to be an interesting event. We hadn't been there, and we liked the idea of it. And what we saw was right from the very beginning, when we had the escorted ride, it was just overwhelming on how it went and what we saw. The response from the crowds was incredible. We saw the people that were waving to us and cheering us, and we'd pass by a fire department, and they'd have the aerials out with the Canadian flag on it, and they'd be saluting us as we went by. And from that time, it just sort of felt like, you know, I'm really part of something. This is really good. And it was a well-organized ride. We went all the way to the end of the event, and then we had the party at night and the get-together, and that's when it really hit me. We had the people that were affected the most, the victims, the family of the victims were there, and that's when it really hits you. When you see how these people are affected and what these great people are doing with the 911 ride, it's phenomenal. And for my company, we had to get involved more and more, and I suggest any company in the corporate realm and the corporate landscape should get involved with this 911 ride. It's incredible.
We became aware of this foundation through the CBWA, and Dan and Betsy and I met earlier this year, and we just thought this was a great opportunity to pull together what we do with CBWA and what we want to continue to do within the communities in which we operate. And the 911 Foundation offered us that opportunity.
The mission is to place public access defibrillators so that people with sudden cardiac arrest might have a second chance at life. To date, we have placed over 1,000 units and have trained over 10,000 people in CPR and AED. From those 1,000 units, we've actually had 8 saves. So there's some lucky people out there that there was a Mikey, our name for defibrillator, available when they had a problem.
Well, with the Mikey defibrillator, and I think I understand that there's 12 saves, the last one being last night, and they saved a teenager in a high school. And there it is. It's right there. You see what's happening with it, and you feel it. You feel it right down to your toes how great this is. What a great organization. And when you see these, and when they're donating these defibrillators and what they do with the soldier on, it's all encompassing, and it's something that everybody should get involved with.
A CPR lesson turned into a real-life rescue at an Etobicoke high school. Live to Tom Hayes now with how a couple of teachers saved a student's life. Tom?
Gord, the scene was Silverthorne High School. A student collapsed. His heart stopped beating. Well, that student is walking and talking today because of the quick work of his teachers. Welcome to Silverthorne High School at Etobicoke, where class is in.
Give 2 full breaths.
I mean, if you see someone who just collapses, what are you supposed to do? I mean, are you just going to run away and pretend like it never happened? No, you should do your best to help them.
Shock delivered.
This lesson is how to use the defibrillator. Sean King is the teacher. Last week he did it for real.
What did you think when you saw this student and then you realized his heart was not beating?
You know, I didn't think. I just reacted. Right? Like, this is what you do. This is what you're trained to do.
The 17-year-old male student collapsed on the floor. Teacher Sharon McConnell had only been working at Silverthorne a few days.
What an intro.
Yeah. Hello, nice to meet you. Let me save your life. Yeah.
The student collapsed a third time. This time his heart stopped.
He wasn't breathing. I started AR.
You just take it out and you run to the scene.
And that was you, right? You grabbed it?
I was the one that came out, grabbed the defibrillator, and went into the gym where the boy was.
A life was saved here simply because the equipment was right here in the school. It was a move by the Toronto School Board just 2 or 3 years ago to make sure that every secondary school in Toronto had a defibrillator.
Please stand exactly as shown.
And that's where this story expands. These teachers helped save a life, but so did these guys. The annual 911 Canada Ride, organized by Toronto Police, raises money for the Mikey Network. They help buy the defibrillator that brought that 17-year-old back to life.
Every time we put a defibrillator out into the community along with the Mikey Network, it has the potential to save a life.
And this isn't a first. Last year, their Mikey Network defibrillator saved student Danny Wu, who had a seizure in the pool of Harvard Collegiate.
I personally wouldn't be here standing today if it wasn't because of ADD.
Today's 17-year-old victim was too shy to talk, but his friends wanted to talk for him. You know him?
Yeah, we do.
How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's recovering perfectly fine.
His friends say he doesn't remember much, but he is a bit worried about one thing.
Oh, miss, it wasn't my Puma shirt, was it? Please.
They got cut off?
Yeah, they had to cut his shirt, and he was really concerned that it wasn't that one.
I can tell you the Mikey Network has so far put over 140 defibrillators in Toronto schools.